is Notepad. I'm on and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Today we're going to be working on, you guessed it, caps. Crisis averted, president saved. And last time it was 2 in the morning and I had just discovered the secret to life, death, and the meaning of existence. Otherwise known as I changed the attribute system. So for those who don't know, attributes got changed to analytics, which comes down to combat, espionage, knowledge, and luck. Why this was changed? Because there was just a lot of numbers that weren't adding up properly with the old attributes, and reflexes kind of became this god tier super stat that everyone wouldn't want to take. So I said, you know what, maybe this isn't the right way. So I had to ask myself, like, what attributes do people use if I want to make this? And I am thinking, was like, well, how do you do this? How do you do this? And what I came to the conclusion of is that 95% of the time in these like spy fiction things, I think y'all know what I mean when they like the first scene is they pull up the dossier being this like, oh, this agent's really capable and really cool and stuff. Look at all these cool analytics that we have on them that mean absolutely nothing to you because you haven't seen them in action yet. So that's why I call them analytics, and they're based on all of these to do things. And in case you're wondering, hey, Notepad, why is combat CBT? And the answer is, why isn't it? It's accurate, isn't it? I'll let you think on that one for a bit. Outside of that, I just had to make everything ready. I also added a metric fuck ton of little perks and abilities. Overall, my goal is to get 10 of these for each. Originally it was 8, but then this happened, the operative. So that's going to be a thing that just occurs. Here's to give you the full extent of the autism that is going into just the stealth section. Planning an operation, all of this is about stealth in some way or another. Now that we're into combat. Now combat's a little bit more complicated because combat is using the tick system. Now tick is a little bit odd because, let's see, we have to realize this key little fact here, that every actor is always acting, which is kind of an odd thing to say, but if you apply to the fact of, like, in, let's say, D&D combat, if it's not my turn, I'm not acting. Things act upon me. However, I'm trying to open up my drink here. Try not to fucking kill myself. It is very late. 11:57 at night. You may be wondering also, Notepad, why the hell are you streaming so goddamn late? The answer, my friend, is that I fell asleep like an asshole, and I'm very awake right now. I did that because I've been in the emergency room all day with my mom. Not me, her, don't worry. Everything's fine. We're Gucci. We're not, no one's going to die. But it's like a 4-hour ordeal that just kind of eats the life out of you. Alright, so okay, so for actions, okay. An action is committed to at the action is committed to at the start of every tick. I don't want to fucking word this. An action is a decision to Let's stop an action once it begins. Or should I put that in? No. Once you commit to it, you can't really stop it. Alright, so we want to break it down into dedicated, extended, and simple. Hello, phone. Alright, now we get to the complicated part of this endeavor, which is actually trying to make this thing work. Alright, so effectively dedicated actions. Actions with a set tick value. And wait, how do I... Okay. So let's think of actions that we would perform. Actually, I want to. Where the light? Where the light fades softly. Oh, there goes my back. That's not how my back goes. We want to do... Get using ability position. Okay, so dedicated actions. The ability or tool. There. The character makes an attack with their weapon of choice. Up there. And okay. And let's see, how do we want to do health? That reminds, because pretty much the idea with health is that a lot of good time in stealth games, health is incredibly low to encourage you to not get into fights. That's kind of the entire idea of a stealth game, is that you don't want to get into a fight because you will get your shit rocked in a straight fight. So it's you trying to... you more trying to avoid combat like that. People like the commando should be able to kind of be in a more dedicated fight, take a few more hits, but everyone else not so much. So we'll do something like... Actually, what we could do is we can make it blunt trauma and then lethal trauma. And the idea of... you can do a build-up system. That could work. Like, the more lethal trauma you end up taking, the more... you can only take a certain amount of everything. So let's say you can take... let's say you can take 10 blunt trauma and 5 lethal trauma for a normal character. But for like commandos, you can like bump it up to something like, you can bump it up to pretty high, because again, you are a commando, you are a all-American badass, and that's the entire point of being a commando, is that you are supposed to be able to get into fights. Okay, so so let's see, 3-shot. You want to go to Robato. Alright, let's have a controlled burst on it. Okay, so we don't want aim strike. That's not really a thing. Okay, so we take the concepts of these. So, character looks at a controlled burst, shots at opponent, they gain +2. They gain... I want to do this. Let's use burst fire, full auto. Heavy swing. Or do I even want to do something like this? You know what? We gotta figure out equipment then, don't we? Yeah, we gotta figure out equipment. So, a piece of equipment is going to have number of ticks to use. Activate. Number of ticks to activate and a number of ticks. And that's amount of damage. It's a weapon, obviously. Not all. Let's think about it like this. Actually, all we can do is make individual. Oh, we can do fire type, which we can do single shot. We can do single burst or auto. And then if you have an auto, you can do burst. If you have burst, you can do single. But you can't really. If you have single, you can't burst, obviously, and you can't auto. So that's kind of the ups and downs of that. So, and then for melee weapons, you just have number of ticks to activate, and then amount of damage. So that's pretty simple. Okay. And we want to do. Makes an attack with their currently held firearm. We'll do single shot burst fire, and then we'll do melee weapon attack. Damages, mitigate. We'll do. Okay, so fire a single shot. Go to. So they deal damage. They deal damage equal to the number of die which are successful. The agent holds down the trigger and prays. They deal damage equal to double the number of dice which are successful, but the enemy receives a penalty, receives a bonus die based on distance. And then once I get down to ST, what the bonus dice would be. So pretty much the idea is single shot, you're going to be doing the most damage. Burst fire, you're going to be hitting most reliably with single shots. Burst fire, you're going to probably do the most reliable amount of damage. But full auto, you could do a shit ton of damage, but you have the very likelihood of missing. Because if you, from a distance away, they might just roll really high and you do no damage. Actually, what I should do. Let's see. Dice which are successful account for all dice that are over the max, over the value of the opponent. Value of the opponent, and what we're going to do, insert footnote. If an enemy rolls a 6, rolls a 5, a 4, 6, 7, and 8, they have 3 successes over the enemy. And 3 successes over the enemy. Also, you may be wondering, Notepad, this isn't accurate at all to how firearms work. The answer is, I know, but I need to make it actually so people want to play this game. You actually plan on making a really autistic game using this system, I think it would work. That's the thing. I think it'll work. Big swing. not vitals, sharp, no edged. Gives the enemy a D10 bonus die. Actually, it would be a D8. Yeah, D8 bonus die. But deals lethal damage. What deals double lethal damage? And it deals damage for each successful die. Which the idea be actually each successful die ignoring armor. There we go. Which now he gets to close quarter combat. CQC. That's what I should put. Let's do firearm. Variable interruption die. Firearm attack D8. Actually, no. My thinking being it's a lot harder to disrupt someone who's swinging something at you than if you come up behind someone and like attack them if they're trying to shoot a gun. But mind you, interruption only occurs if you actually can get up there and attempt to interrupt them. Interrupting someone with a firearm doesn't really work. Launches and punches, kicks. Yeah, let's see, the agent deals the number. Easy. No interruption. CBT. Skill. If the attacker is successful, they grab and attacker is successful, they determine what occurs. If the defender is successful, they can opt to continue their action by knocking down the agent, or determine the outcome, applies interruption, and then now I get to remember Metal Gear Solid CQC. There we go. That's what I need to remember. So, succeed and grapple. You can either go for the restrain, row, choke out, put in. Restrains the target. The agent tosses the choke the stack penalty die. But after actually every 3 ticks. Attempt to break out. Do every 2 ticks. Break out with a stacking penalty die. But after 12 ticks, they are rendered unconscious. Pummel. Yeah. They take the punch action twice, but deal lethal. Yeah, they take. They roll. They take the punch. They take the punch action, but apply lethal damage. The agent disarms. Tosses aside the weapon currently being held by the target. Resetting. Y'all think I'm crazy if I'm not going to add an extensive CQC system. Should say it's a special movement. Now we get to go to extended actions. Every tick. It increases the bonus die by 1 step. Certain weapons have a minimum or maximum. Have a certain number of certain weapons have a cap to able to be aimed. What I should put is extended actions. but are determined by the agent. Do not have a dedicated tick value, but are determined by the agent. The interruption actions is equal to the number of ticks being used in a stacking die value. So let's insert footnote. So in agent waiting, 3 ticks will have a D8 interruption die, interruption die. This D8 can be applied to any action. Any action during those 3 ticks. So what does this actually mean for gameplay? The idea is that I don't want people just to spam out like, oh, I'm gonna aim for a shit ton of turns and just do, just get big hits on if I'm not safe, because then like a tick in, you're going to immediately get bodied by some dude as he turns you, some Russian as he turns you into, his gulag buddy. Like, I don't want that. That's not the goal of this system. This system's actually supposed to be pretty quick combat. There's a lot of bits to it, but having a lot of bits means you have a little bit more. Bonus die. He goes on the defensive, gaining a bonus die. Yeah, bonus die to resist any CQC attempt. Interruption. All out spring. Actually, potentially. Ooh, come on. Let's go. Me culpa. Space distance, because I actually use a different version of space distance. Yeah, we'll use space distance method. Not the full version, but actually, would a full version be best? Let's check the lexicon. Yeah, I think I'm going to adopt the GRUG method for space distance. I think that's going to be a smarter idea. Well, let's sprint. They move to SD. Yeah, run for it is more, I am making a dedicated, like, sprint for my fucking life version. Not really the, I'm going to run to cover. No, if you want to do, like, actual, you have to do simple, like, a bunch of little movements. Like, that's the point behind that. This is the, oh fuck, oh god, oh Jesus. Everyone run. See. Yeah, no, this is going to have to get fixed later. And that's what we do with problems. We apply it later. So simple actions. So yeah. A plus D6. Okay, A plus D. Yeah, we'll give plus D6 to no D8. Yeah. Plus, you're moving way slower if you're prone. You move them. D10. Put a footnote here. What's the time? Actually, give me 1 second. What I want to do is I'm going to move this up here, change position. Agent's position may automatically change from there we go. Nice and easy. Ooh. Ow. Oh god. There we go. Okay, so we've got simple actions done. We've got extended actions done. We've got combat roughly done. Okay, some combat. We've got all our actions, which means we get to move into the final one. Control. Contrary to popular belief. Agents are not immortal beings that can take anything without caring. Agents are human. Squishy. Scary. Squishy humans. Actually, squishy, fragile humans. Each agent has two vital signs: blunt and lethal trauma. Blunt trauma equal trauma is dying bruises, hits, punches, and generally non-lethal lethal damage. And take before they finally pass out. An agent starts with 10 blunt trauma. Starts with 10 blunt trauma. Heals naturally over time, and does not. Actually, what I should do is lethal trauma. Lethal trauma is the far more deadly injuries that agents can take and suffer through. At full lethal trauma, the agent is unable to move and will begin and will enter shock. And will enter shock, dying soon after. An agent starts with 5 lethal trauma. Now, what I may do when I actually get to aces, because ace, arguably caps here is actually a kind of a stopgap between. Yeah, let me bring it up real fast. Things, Notepad, what's to do. It's kind of a stopgap for this to make sure if this works, then Ace Combat Squad Evolved Ace works. And what this entire system will be, this will entirely get overhauled. Like, this will be an incredibly autistic version of, hey, this is live field dressing, and how do people, hey, I got shot in the field, what do you have to do so I don't die? This is kind of the more, hey, don't worry. Hey, people, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be Gucci, and we're not going to care. But it's supposed to be kind of emphasize that stealth gameplay that I want. I don't get into fights because you will fucking die. But once we hit Ace, that's when things are gonna get a little bit more complicated, because it's like, oh hey, I've been shot by an AK-47 and I am now lying on the ground. I'm in extreme pain. What do I do? I'm literally going to have to consult like fucking ARMA systems and shit like that. Like, I'm gonna have to watch a lot of ARMA system. I'm gonna have to watch a lot of ARMA to get that feeling across. But hey, don't worry, everything's Gucci. I do have a resource I can consult, which is going to be an entertaining endeavor, if anything. And that reminds me, I got to... Yep, welcome to the GRUG method, otherwise known as to replace SPOC distance. Replace everything with space distance. I'm going to replace that with 2 space distance SD. There'll be a time when Yeah, you know what? I'm going. Space distance has been like with SPRUG for a while now, and I don't think it's going anywhere soon. So, long range duels, low or long range duels of wits. Long range duels of wits to combine the distances together and keep a relatively universal system. Move distances are considered in space distance, SD. The SD is the distance between two actors in a scene. And then in melee combat, if within 2 SD of an opponent, but if the agent has the drop on them, but the agent is sneaking up on an opponent, be within 1 SD to successfully apprehend them. If an agent is in melee combat with an alerted enemy, they cannot move out. Melee combat with an alerted enemy, attempting to. Actually, yeah, no, I'm not gonna add that little part because again, SDs. You're stupid enough to actually get the fuck out of it and like turn your back on an enemy who has a gun to you. Then, yeah, maybe you do deserve to get fucking popped. Bonus time. Do the full auto. Actually, what I should say is enemies cannot fire a firearm. Enemy within 0 SD. SD as it is too close to get inaccurate shot. However, melee attacks and however CQCs can be started at the not the melee range. just realized I deleted that like a fucking moron with the real-time engagement. In a with ones together. Welcome to SD, everybody, otherwise known as the most useful thing in my arsenal. So let's see, that would be nothing. Actually, I'm gonna put a side note in here. Side notes, full auto, fully automatic. Fully automatic, defense bonus. Defense bonus for full auto weapons is as follows. Bar D8. Actually, it'd be D10. Inside D20. Close D8. So when using a fully automatic, when using a full auto weapon, get close and annihilate them quickly. Actually, no, I'm going to take that out. We go back up here. See, we want to firearm attack, full auto. They hold down prey, they deal damage, but the enemy receives a bonus die. I should say receives a stacking bonus die when outside the range of fire. Most engagements are going to take place about here, like firearm wise, while most melee engagements are going to take right here. 3 SD is kind of the black zone. Like, you don't, no one really wants to be there because you're too far to be in melee, but you're not far enough away to really use your guns effectively. So that's kind of your oh no zone. Oh no! Also, happy December, everyone! It's officially 12/1. I didn't notice that before, so we did it, guys. We made it to December. Let's see, blood trauma, last resort to combat. Actually, what I should put. Okay. Combat of a sneakier variety. There will come time Deal with targets in it. When the 8. I mean, stealth takedowns. They can use. If they can beat their guard die in roll, the alternative method is shooting a guard with a silenced weapon, allowing them to be quickly dragged away. Non-lethal agents. Non-lethal agents didn't rely on stealth takedowns to avoid bloodshed, as the guard or target is often just knocked out, is immediately reduced to 0 blood trauma, but less morally more morally ambiguous. Well, more morally ambiguous agents are free to eliminate the competition, eliminate those in their way. Any lethal ranged attack, I should say, is any lethal range attack performed from stealth or hiding is immediately successful. And any lethal range attack performed from stealth grants a D10 bonus die to hit, and is always immediately lethal. Unless the guard has unique equipment. Unless the guard or target. So, okay. What I'm trying to get across here is that pretty much that's you, to put it into, hitman terms, that's you like walking up behind someone, aiming at their head immediately, and then popping them quickly. Actually, what I should Agents do not consider the tick cost of these actions while in stealth. While hiding. However, if the group opts to ambush, if the group triggers a group of guards, or the alarm with their attacks. Insert footnote. Opening up full auto on someone will probably full auto without a silencer is a pretty good indicator that something's going wrong. They will instead start an ambush. 3-tick lead. And then start an ambush after their target, after their initial targets are defeated or downed. After their initial targets are resolved. So let's say there's 5 guards, 3 agents. What's going to occur is that the agents are going to take down the three guards pretty quickly, and if they kind of trigger it, you go into an ambush with the remaining 2. So you have a 3-tick lead to run up to them real quick and punch them in the face, or to, deal with the threat before it really escalates. That's kind of the advantage of an ambush. It's the really like dun dun dun. Wait a goddamn second. Let me put a side note, actually. Side note. Gunfire and escalation. In combat. Combat breaks out. All the agents are still in a lower escalation. Then every gunshot, including full auto, every gunshot will increase escalation by 2. If the agents or targets have silencers, then this is reduced only to 1 escalation. But things will inevitably heat up quickly. So yeah, that's kind of the big problem with guns, is that if you're using guns everywhere in combat, you're inevitably going to just trigger the alarm, and then you're going to make your life a hell of a lot harder for everyone involved. So that's kind of your big oof moment, everyone. That's the big oof. So we've got all of this resolved. See what I mean? My thing's just like you system design will always be, I always reference it as it's a domino it's a thing of dominoes, because you do one thing and then you immediately got to think, oh wait a second, I got to do something else, and then you got to do reference something else, and then you got to fix something else, and then you got to fix something else, and it gets just wacky from there. So combat's done. So that means just equipment at this point and advancement, and that's done. Oh yeah, I forgot. There we go. Agency mode is going to be special. That's a special thing. But if things go according to plan, we can probably get equipment done entirely by on Wednesday. And then we can get advancement done on... advancement and agency mode done on Friday. So if things go according to plan, Cap should be done at 5 episodes this Friday. And that does mean I get to start moving on to the next project, which I still don't quite know about yet, but I will cross that bridge when I get to it. So, thank you everyone. My name is Notepad, and I hope you all had a great time. I know this isn't exactly the most pulse-pounding adventure of the lifetime, but hey, this is what we do here. We are not fun, we write games. So, thank you all. If you have one for the rest of your night, Godspeed, good luck, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Goodbye.